I don't know. I was being cocky. I ain't gonna lie. Robbie's debut, my debut. Robbie was younger than I by a couple years. He was so nervous, as we're walking out, he's puking. I'm thinking, oh, I got this guy.
Yeah.
Scared, puking, whatever. So we both get in the cage. They say go. Robbie is circling away from me, so I'm going after him.
Yeah.
Again, remember I was told he was a wrestler. This is before anyone knew who the hell Robbie Lawler was.
Yeah.
And so I'm waiting for him to shoot a double leg, and I stopped. I planted to throw a kick. It's a 10, which is my right side. It's my power side. But with the knowledge of him thinking he was a wrestler, I wasn't really concerned about his striking, which is completely stupid now that I know who he is. I went to throw the kick. He threw a right hand. The right hand landed, and I woke up. So that was my pro debut. I was like, son of a bitch. So it
wasn't just a knockout. That was a fast one.
Yeah, it was. I think his record knockout in his career, the fastest time he's ever knocked anyone out. It was kind of funny.
So you found your way in the record book?
Yeah, I found my way in the record book. I'm sure. But I ended up being the first victim of the next 10 guys, and he was in the UFC within a year. So
yeah.
I was like, okay, he is a wrestler, but he uses it to stay on his feet and bang.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my pro debut. So I was like, oh, welcome to the pros. Went home with a little concussion. What's kind of funny too is what really pissed me off was after the fight. It's like, all right, well, we're in California, let's go to the after fight party. So we go. The after fight party is over in Chico. Cruise over to Chico, college town. We go up to the bar, go in there, and Don Fry is in there. Frank Shamrock, Pat Miletich, all the old school legends, and I'm partying down with them. Frank's running around with his Hawaiian shirt and foo-foo drink and dancing around. And I look over in the corner of Don Fry. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to talk to him. He looks pissed. He's just big old white boy. I don't know if you know who Don Fry is. He's just a freak.
Yeah.
Huge man. Just looked pissed. He looks like a big old Magnum PI guy. I was like, nah, just leave that guy alone. So anyways, I decided to bounce from the bar. I kind of walking out the bar. Robbie's standing out there. He's like, hey, man. I'm like, what's up, Robbie? What's up? You gonna knock me out again? What's going on? He goes, hey, my buddies Pat and all those guys in there. I go, yeah. And he goes, you mind running in there and letting them know I'm out here? I'm like, why don't you go in there and let them? He goes, I'm not 21. I was like, dude, what the hell? I'm like, yeah, I'll be right back. And I go in and tell Pat and his crew that Robbie's waiting for him outside. I'm like, look at my buddy. Let's get the F out of here.
Yeah.
We drove home.
Oh, that long drive too.
Oh, it was hell. I'm just pissed. I got knocked out. I got a shitty payday.
Yeah. That's,
I was told he's a wrestler. I'm not blaming it on that. When you're in mixed martial arts, you need to be prepared for everything. But
yeah.
I was young pro.
Sometimes you also need to learn the lesson.
You also need to learn the lesson.
Yeah.
And he's, to my defense, he's the only person who's ever knocked me out in my career.
Nice.
So, that was it. I've been knocked out once.
What are the stories I'm hearing about these Everett garage or Everett basement fights?
Oh yeah, we did. Well, it depends which one, the sanctioned or the non-sanctioned.
Well,
they were both really not sanctioned, ish. Well, I've done challenge fights where we were in North Everett, and so we used to get a lot of those weirdos coming in out of the jail, challenging us, and they would always go after my instructor. And he's like, no, I'm not fighting you guys, and if you want to fight someone, he looks at me and goes, go fight him. And I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. So, I've done a couple old school challenge fights in the gym before.
Nice.
But we made sure that we had everyone there. And basically he's like, hey, if you want to do this, you see all these people around the ring, don't be playing, because if you try getting dirty, it's going to be a problem. And the guy's like, no, I'll keep it real. So we started going.
Aaron was tough coming out of jail, right?
Oh, I just thumped him. It was stupid. But I only did that one time. And we just push them. We just turn them away. They're stupid. Get out of here.
Yeah.
But I've done some smaller venues that were like in basement type, like basement and gold gyms,
Yeah.
That type of deal. I fought a guy.
Fight club stuff?
Yeah, well, I mean, it was sanctioned-ish.
Yeah.
By a small amateur sanctioning body, but I guess technically that makes it legal. It was just, kind of old school. We were down in the basement of Gold's Gym in a floor ring.
Yeah.
It was fun though.
With the sport growing like it is now, are there a lot more like tournaments and
there's so many fights now.
There.
I mean, yeah, there's world champion this, or you're the world champion of this organization. There's so many organizations now.
Is that kind of that saturation problem where
not
everyone's
really
a champ?
Well,
I mean, let's say some of your students and your
we have
deals.
We've gotten plenty of titles. I mean, I have like 40 belts up on the wall over the years for my students and myself.
Someone joins up the gym, or how many opportunities are they going to get to hit that?
It's all up to you, man. I mean, this what's cool about the sport is what you put into it is what you get out of it. And if you want to turn pro, you will turn pro. You can make that happen. But I don't think that people these days train as hard as we did. I think that there's more talent these days. Kids are growing up into the sport now. They're starting jiu-jitsu younger.
Yeah.
They don't have to grind as hard. They have it's a little. The kids these days are more athletic. They're better fighters, but they're not nearly as tough. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I got.
They don't grind like we did. They have more excuses. I got to get my beauty sleep. I got to be at work by 6. They have excuse after excuse why they don't want to train as hard, but they're walking in with way more talent. They're already athletes. They've been wrestling their whole lives,
Yeah.
Or their brother did MMA and taught them stuff, or them and their buddies have been YouTubing it. And I've had guys come in and say they've only done YouTube stuff and then pull off beautiful arm bars.
Yeah.
I'm like, you ever trained before? And they're like, no. And then they take someone's back. I'm like, you're lying to me, because that's not normal. People don't know how to just take somebody's back unless they've trained somehow. And they're like, oh, well, me and my buddies, YouTube, and my brother did it for 5 years and has taught us some stuff. So, I mean, it's just getting to that point where everyone wants to do it. Everyone's doing it. It's a little saturated. Everyone's the ultimate fighter, It's not as special, in my opinion. Unless you put out goals for yourself and you accomplish them. But now, there's fighters everywhere. Big deal,
Yeah.
When I was doing it, if you were in a room of 50 people, you might not even find a fighter. Now, if you're in a room of 50 people, you're probably going to find 10 fighters out of those 50 people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's how common it is.
Well, it's like there's gyms popping up everywhere. I know you can.
Gyms will pop up everywhere. Be real careful where you train.
Yeah.
Make sure that your instructor has experience. There's lots of gyms popping up with guys that are claiming to be this and that, and they actually have only fought once or twice as amateurs, but, whatever. Just research your instructors. Make sure they're proper.
I know with because I was a wrestler, and in wrestling, like right now, every weekend there's a tournament going on at such and such high school, and then later on, it's same thing going on with MMA.
But it's cool because it gives us more places to compete. I have no problem with a lot of things to do. It's just I run I just had a grappling tournament at my gym, and most of the people, I was actually surprised. A lot of people from down south came this time, but usually it'd be more northern people come this way and do my tournament, and then go down south. For the bigger tournaments, we'll go to some of the bigger tournaments, but most of them are down south. So it actually makes it so we don't have to go so far, don't have to travel so far to compete. But at the same time, it gives you that opportunity if you want to get the heck out of this area and compete somewhere else. It's available.
Absolutely.
So I think it's a good thing. Just because a gym pops up, though, doesn't mean it's a good one.
Yeah.
Just make sure you do your homework.
Absolutely. The now I don't know. I heard somewhere that their weigh-ins are getting a little bit different, where there's a lot of mat side weigh-ins.
Well, some organizations. Well, what's happened in the past is people cut weight wrong.
Yeah.
Or they cut too much weight.
I was a wrestler.
Right.
Wade did it.
Right, right. But you guys cut weight the same day and competed the same day, so you weren't able to cut like we did.
Yeah.
We cut weight, and we weigh in 24 hours ahead of the event. So we have a full day to rehydrate. So I used to cut 30 pounds to compete.
Yeah.
They're making it where, because there's been some deaths, people not doing it properly, not having the right knowledge, and dehydrating themselves, and jumping in the sauna while they're dehydrated with a sauna suit on, and doing stuff like that, being careless. So they're starting to change the weigh-ins. I think they're going for nation changes, but it's going to take some time. Yeah, they want it to be national, to where you have to do like a double weigh-in. You weigh in a week out, make sure you're within a certain thing, and then weigh in again to make sure you didn't put on too much weight, so that to control it so people aren't.
I think that's just a brilliant idea.
I think it's great.
Yeah,
I just kind of do whatever's going. I mean, everybody's like, "Why do you cut weight?" Well, because that's what we do. Yeah. I go, if they change it, we'll change with it. But until then, we're still cutting the weight. Yeah. Because everyone else is going to cut that weight. And if we decide to be the team that doesn't, we're going to be the small team. We're going to get big guys, Yeah. I walked at 190, 195, sometimes even up to 205 when I competed at 170. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's how I was. It's been a few years since I wrestled. But yeah, that's how I was walking at 135 and wrestling 115. Yeah. And that's a 15-pound cut, and that's in the same day. That to me, that's pretty crazy. I would cut 30 pounds over a course of 6 weeks. Yeah. And I would cut the last 15 pounds in 2 days. So I would diet, get within 15 pounds, and I'd hold that weight and make sure I was completely hydrated, drinking the proper water, less food. Don't need the food as much. Yeah. You just need enough not to keel over. Give you a little energy for your workout, but mainly you want to stay hydrated, because if you dry out, you're not going to lose weight. Yeah, there's nothing left there. There's nothing to give. Cut. I was never a huge muscular guy. I had some body fat, so cutting weight was a little easier for me. Yeah. It's those lean buff guys that can't cut as much because they don't have the body fat for it. Yeah. I did compete at 185. It was too big. That's where I lost. Yeah. But I took not stupid. They were opportunities the way I looked at them. Some people thought I was dumb and crazy. But I would take short notice fights against guys like Chris Lieben, up a weight class on 2 days' notice. Yeah. And have a freaking war with these guys. I ended up coming up a little short. One, I didn't train for them. Yeah. When I fought Chris, I was drinking a Budweiser, icing my knee when I took the fight. And fought him 3 days later, I was out of shape, wasn't training for a fight. I was actually nursing my knee because it was sore. And I get a phone call, "What you doing?" I'm like, "I'm just chilling. What's up?" It's like, "What you doing right now?" I go, "I'm drinking a beer. Icing my knee. What do you want, man?" It's like, "You want to fight Chris Lieben?" I go, "Yeah, I wouldn't mind fighting Chris Lieben." And, I go, "When?" He's like, "Saturday." I go, "Dude, it's Wednesday." I go, "I'm icing my knee. I'm drinking a beer right now." He goes, "Well, put your beer down. Get your ass down here and start cutting weight." So put the beer down, jumped in my car, went down to the gym, started cutting. Drove out there and fought him. Main event world title. And lost a split decision in overtime. I'm just like, damn, if I would have trained for the fight, or whatever.
The would have and could have.
Would have and could have. But the way I look at it, it's like, it's the opportunity. Yeah. If I would have ended up getting that win, I wasn't that far off of it. I lost a split. Yeah. If I would have beat him, that would have skyrocketed my rep. I had just beaten Drew Fickett prior to that. So I was pretty confident going into that fight anyway, even though I didn't train 2 seconds for the fight. And I just manned up, and we had a war. And one of my favorite fights of my career. Yeah. I ended up breaking his jaw. I broke his orbital. I think that's the same, isn't it? Jaw, orbital. Oh, orbital is by your eye. Yeah. I broke his jaw, and I cracked his orbital and broke his nose. And I lost a split decision.
Jeez, what a tough son of a bitch, dude.
Yeah, his head was like concrete, dude.
No glass jaw there?
No. And then he went on to do the first Tough Show, and he was very competitive in the UFC for a lot of years. And then he retired. We became good friends after that fight. Yeah. Chris and I, yeah. And I fought some other UFC. I fought a lot of those guys. I took another short notice fight against Pete Sell for the Ring of Combat World title in Atlantic City again. What you doing?
Oh, sounds like I'm about ready for fight.
Sounds like I'm fighting, right? So he was going to fight beat sell. I'm like, yeah, when? He's like, Saturday. I'm like, okay, it's Tuesday.
Yeah.
Sure, what the hell, you know?